Rx for disaster. Cipro, Avalox, and Levaquin. In September of 2011, I was prescribed Cipro, 750 milligrams, along with Flagyl, 500 milligrams. 3 times a day. The Cipro was 2 times a day. There's no understatement when I tell you that this course of antibiotics, although I didn't complete the whole thing, destroyed my health and has destroyed my life. I'm now on disability. It's been 2 years, nearly 2 years, and I continue to have physical problems. I was perfectly healthy before these antibiotics. Although I had contracted Lyme disease, I was still doing physical things like running and tennis and whatnot. The mental ramifications of what these drugs have done to me, because I assure you they also affect your mind. While on them, I developed panic, anxiety, and to this day I still have the mental issues. I mean, mainly any normal human being having their body destroyed would have mental issues. I'm forced to live this kind of shell of who I was every day, and I'm constantly reminded of it. But the fact is that the reason you don't hear about these drugs is because the pharmaceutical companies are the biggest and most powerful companies, richest companies in the world. So they control the media. So you don't hear stories about people being crippled and even killed by Cipro. The postal office employees were given, many of them were given Cipro for the anthrax scare way back when in post 9/11, or around the terrorism war days, and many of them were crippled by it, and they sued Bayer, and I believe they won. But you didn't hear about any of this because Cipro makes too much money for them to stop crippling and killing people. The worst part about this medication is that while on it, I developed a spasm, twitch, fasciculation, vibration, whatever you want to call it, in my pelvic floor. It's something like this. That's about the frequency. And it goes constantly. Like, I don't feel it really that much standing up, but when I'm sitting down or laying down, I feel it always going. And that's what really drove me crazy, if you will, initially, is having this. I really suspected it was the Cipro, and I ended up talking to some lady who convinced me it was Lyme disease doing it, but my initial guess that it was the Cipro, I'll hold correct to this day, because it literally started while I was on Cipro and Flagyl, so I think my body just became too toxic, or something happened down there with the medication, poison I should say, to where something set off a nerve, and it has never stopped. Do you know how bizarre that is to have just this? It's like Parkinson's, like people that are constantly shaking. I have that down there in my pelvic floor, and I can always feel it. Just health-wise, in those 2 years, I sort of like went down pretty far, and now I'm just kind of maybe flatlining, maybe even coming up a little in some respects, except I I'll try to name it off. You know, I can have pains in my feet. I have a grinding right shoulder. I have a poppy hip. My thumb joint is will crack and hurt sometimes. I have a rash. Just a bunch of weird things. The main problem I feel is this twitch. You know, it's like I can never relax, knowing this thing is always and feeling it always going. But I want to spread awareness about, you know, these drugs and how they cripple people and how they're continuing to prescribe just for profit, and they should be banned. They will be someday. It's just corporations are criminals. You know, they're murderers. The corporation has no face. You know, it just cares about profit above all else. And above all else, I mean, that's all I can say is, like, human life doesn't matter. You know, as long as the drug continues to be profitable and doesn't ruin the company's reputation to the point, and remember, they control the media, doesn't ruin the company's reputation to the point where it starts affecting other products, they'll continue to cripple and kill people. And that's been the case for me. You know, I'm on disability. You know, I can walk. You know, I'm thankful that I can walk, but it's hard never realizing my potential in life, you know, physically, especially, you know, when I'm out and I see people together and, you know, healthy people that can share, you know, relationships and it's like I was exposed to the devil, you know, and you don't forget that. So your life is it's just not the same. It's like you can't experience things fresh, like believing in the world and believing in the good of the world, and that you know the world is on your side. You know, it's like being raped, you know, by somebody that was supposed to help you. You know, it jades it completely. It's like it permanently jades you, and my digestion is like, you know, I'm always hungry, but I don't want to eat too much. My bowels will hurt. I'm constipated. I feel constantly bloated. I want to spread the word, and I want to prepare like a speech or something together, and just you know, give a speech at like a town meeting or something. Just that's all I can do is spread awareness. And to you people watching, this isn't a joke. You know, I'm not making this up. You know, this really happened to me. You know, this was September 2011 in Princess Anne Hospital. I went in there and they said I had diverticulitis. All I had was a sore lower left side. They didn't confirm any infection. They didn't do any stool sample to see if I had bacteria. They did a urine sample and they said there was a trace of blood in my urine, which actually can be normal. But anyways, they didn't care. I mean, they just wanted to make money and prescribe. They gave me the maximum dose. I was only 180 pounds. They gave me the maximum dose you can give with Cipro. There never used to be a 750 milligram dose, but anyways, I'm repeating myself. And, you know, I guess I just want to say, if you have to take a synthetic pill, which I wouldn't advise, don't take a fluoroquinolone antibiotics, because their side effects can be permanent, crippling, and you know, the cartilage, you know, all this stuff is going to last the rest of my life. You know, cartilage doesn't regrow. Your central nervous system doesn't regrow. You know, this twitch is driving me off the deep end.